Hey guys, this is Peter here from Underground Reptiles, and what I got here today is an African leopard tortoise. This guy's just a baby. Obviously you can see he's real small. Now this is the Babcockii. These guys only get around the size of a football, between like 12 and 15 inches or so. These guys are good, you know, obviously for someone looking for a tortoise that doesn't get huge, like a sulcata or something like that. You know, standard tortoise diet, they're gonna eat like leafy greens, like romaine lettuce, collard greens. They'll do squash, carrot, you can do strawberries, things like that. As far as setup goes, you know, as of right now, you can definitely do them in a 20-gallon long. You're gonna want a hot spot of around 100 degrees, 105 degrees, UV light as well. You're gonna want to calcium dust all their food to make sure they get all the calcium they need, so they don't pyramid up or anything like that. They're great pets, they're super easy, and like I said, they stay smaller for anyone looking for a tortoise that stays smaller, and that's the African leopard tortoise.
What's up guys, it's Alex over at Underground Reptiles. Got myself a little mythical creature, goes by the name of Chinese water dragon. These guys coming out of Southeastern Asian area, mainly being found in some of the more southern parts of China. Look at about a good 3 foot, although right now he's probably maybe a good 10 inches. Now it may not look like a dragon at this point, but as bigger they get, the more color they get, and you get these big old thick jowls like that right there. And there'll be big spikes, along with a little bit of orange coloration. Definitely looking really prehistoric as they get a lot older. Water dragon, obviously, you know, people that like to name animals are super creative, so these guys looking like dragons also love to hang out next to the water. You'll find them in a lot of streams, long-lasting little ponds, things like that. So especially when you guys have a setup, you really want to make sure that it's a good 50-50, where these guys will love to go and just drench themselves. They'll go and hide under the water, they'll go and swim around, as well as like to bask. We got loads of these here. This is one of my favorite lizards, especially on how active they are and how they can kind of chill in your hand like that. What's neat is just they can almost blend right in with my shirt, you know? It's one thing I always enjoyed is how they get that super aqua. You see right there? It's definitely something you don't want to miss. Water dragons, only at Underground Reptiles.
Stenosaurus defensor, the smallest spiny tail iguana in the world, also known as a Yucatan spiny tail iguana. Absolutely beautiful animal, probably the best pet you could ever own. Really, really nice. They color up. He's not fired up now, guys, but when he is, they're beautiful. You get all these reds coming out, and there's even some yellows and oranges in there, and that black is really rich. Really cool animal about them also is they are about 85 to 90% herbivores. I almost forgot the word. But they do like some crickets, some mealworms. Very easy to handle, as you can see. They don't breed real easy in captivity. They are sexually dimorphic, so you can tell the males because they have much more color. They're born, they're only tiny little bit like that. Look at a real cute neck on him. Beautiful oranges and reds on that neck and that chest. Females are more of a bland color. Great setup for them would be a mixture of a sand and a gravel at the bottom. You want it dry, humidity levels below 30%. They are a desert animal for the most part, although they do live in some of the oasis areas. So you stack up rocks nice and neat, and then you have sand everywhere, and they crawl in between the rock, and that's why they got that pointy little tail. They sit in a rock, and if something comes near it, they hit them in the face with it. They love the little blossoms that come up. It's an animal that, depending on where you come from, you really don't need a water bowl because they're going to get most of their water from the succulent leaves. But if you're keeping it real dry, I'd still keep a tiny little water bowl in there. We do have these available now, so if you're interested in them, give us a shout. We'll give you all the information you need. 20-gallon long, 75 to 100 watt heat lamp, depending on how cold your area is. Remember, super important to remember that depending on where you live is how you set your animal up. You don't set the animal up the same everywhere, all over the country, all over the world, so to speak. Stenosaurus defensor, the Yucatan spiny tail iguana, available now at Underground Reptiles.